stage in strength athletics. It's the Metrics World's Strongest Man Final. 10 men have earned the right to compete for the title, but 2 deserve top billing. Brian Shaw, the defending champion from Colorado, whose unique combination of size, speed, and strength has revolutionized the sport. His second title would only serve to raise his stature. Zydrunas Savickas is already considered a legend with 2 championships and 4 runner-up finishes in his possession. A third would solidify his claim as the greatest strongman in history. Will one of these superstars leave California with the trophy, or will someone else emerge to claim the victory? Find out next. Welcome to the ultimate test of strength. This is the 35th edition of the Metrics World's Strongest Man, coming to you from our host location, the Commerce Hotel and Casino in Los Angeles, California. Here's the breakdown of the field of 10 that are contesting for the World's Strongest Man title. We have 3 athletes from North America and 7 from Europe. Lithuania and the USA are the only nations with 2 representatives. The first of 6 unique tests of strength in the Metrics World's Strongest Man Final will be the Super Yoke.
This year's brutal course is the longest ever, 20 meters down and 20 meters back. With 975 pounds, this race requires a fine balance of control, finesse, power, and speed.
Heat number 1, it's Ervin Katona, the 35-year-old Serbian, making his 3rd appearance in the World's Strongest Man Final. 2-time Canada's Strongest Man, JF Caron of Quebec City, is in his 1st final. Next to him, also in heat number 1, Johannes Arsho, a 4-time winner of Sweden's Strongest Man. He's another first-timer here in the final. Well, Poland's Mariusz Pudzianowski dominated this event in the early 2000s. Can his fellow countryman Krzysztof Radzikowski carry on his legacy? And rounding out heat number 1, American Mike Jenkins played football at James Madison University, home of the Dukes. He's one of the favorites to leave LA as a champion.
And this is one of the 2 events that he won last year in the final.
Take your position. Ready?
Now remember, it's 20 meters down, they turn and come back. The apparatus has to cross the line at the finish line. And what a great start for Krzysztof Radzikowski in the red. So first to make the turn is American Mike Jenkins in the blue on the right of your screen.
I thought it was going to be Radzikowski to the line, but after that drop, Jenkins really exploited that, and now he is motoring down the final leg of the course, Todd. But look at Radzikowski.
975 pounds has got across the finish line, and it's going to be Jenkins, 31.49, just edging out Krzysztof Radzikowski of Poland. Meanwhile, the rest of the field still struggling.
Man, that was a tight race. I can't believe Jenkins just edged Radzikowski. If this course were any longer, we may have had a different result.
And the look on Ervin Katona's face says it all. The rest of the competitors, they are about done.
Well, Todd, this is 40 meters. What a brutal test with nearly 1,000 pounds. Jenkins and Radzikowski, however, look like they could have gone even farther.
So it's Mike Jenkins of the USA that puts up the mark to beat 31.49 seconds.
And Jenkins, 2 years in a row, he may be the man that sets the bar on the Super Yoke.
So here we go with heat number 2. Lithuania's Vytautas Lalas has been overshadowed by his countryman Zydrunas Savickas, but the 30-year-old is a serious contender here. Hafthor Bjornsson is a 2-time winner of Iceland's Strongest Man. He's only 23 years old, but he's 6'9", 419 pounds. This is Terry Hollins, his 7th straight time in the final. The Englishman finished 3rd in both 2007 and 2011. Zydrunas Savickas, another 7-time finalist, twice the Lithuanian, has raised the trophy as the champion. And finally, there is the champion, the current world's strongest man, Brian Shaw of Colorado, 6'8", 440 pounds.
Todd, this heat is heavy in so many ways. Any one of these guys is a legitimate contender for the top spot and eclipsing Jenkins' great mark.
Position. Ready.
31.49 seconds is the mark to beat, and a great start by Brian Shaw right there in the center of your screen.
He is just flying. He's way out in front. All four of the other athletes still in contention, however. This turn is so critical. How fast can you set it down and get back under it and get the thing moving, Todd? That's what it's all about.
Zydrunas Savickas is lagging behind in the black, but it is going to be Brian Shaw at the finish line. The whole thing has to cross the line, and look at this. 28.40, Brian Shaw gets the win.
And Vytautas Lalas was right behind him, followed by Hollins.
But what a great way to start defense of your title for American Brian Shaw, getting the win in the Super Yoke. A great showing as well by Vytautas Lalas. He grabs second place with a time of 30.05 seconds.
Shaw was perfect, just textbook. Wastes no time on the transition, immediately begins the final leg of the race, the only man to break the 30-second barrier.
Brian Shaw starts his title defense in style, winning the Super Yoke at a time of 28.40 seconds. It takes 10 points towards his overall total for the victory. Vytautas Lalas second, and third is Mike Jenkins. Zydrunas Savickas is off to a rough start. He finished seventh. The Commerce Hotel in Los Angeles, California hosts concerts, professional boxing, MMA fights, and now you can add the ultimate test and strength athletics to that list. It's the Metrics World's Strongest Man. The second challenge facing the 10 men in the final is the log press, one of the most traditional measures of strength. And today, Phil, they're doing it for maximum weight.
In this last man standing format, each of our athletes is given 30 seconds to successfully lift a specific weight. Fail and get eliminated.
Let's look what's happened so far. Canada's J.F. Caron bowed out on the opening weight, unable to lift the 375 pounds. Terry Hollins was successful at 375, but could go no further. Sweden's Johannes Arshow's best lift was at 408 pounds. The Icelandic giant Hafthor Bjornsson also topped out at 408. It wasn't pretty, but Serbia's Ervin Katona got the lockout at 408 pounds. American Brian Shaw was also part of the group that managed to lift 408 pounds, but was unsuccessful at 440. Vytautas Lalas was pleased, and for a good reason. He completed the lift at 440 pounds, but later failed at 462. However, he's tied for the lead pending the outcome of the next three lifts. So with just 3 athletes left, that will take us to Lithuania's Zydrunas Savickas. The two-time champ finished 7th in the first event, but he's already guaranteed to make up some ground on Brian Shaw, who's already been eliminated in this event.
Time.
Well, this is really important for Zydrunas after finishing 7th in the Super Yoke.
This is 462 pounds, and no problem for Big Zydrunas.
462 pounds. This is just a mind-blowing weight. And Zydrunas, he is considered the king of the log press. He's definitely showing that he's earned that reputation and status here. He makes 462 look like nothing.
Next up, it'll be Krzysztof Radzakowski of Poland. He will be attempting the 462. Now, Phil, this log weighs 142 pounds more than Krzysztof Radzakowski weighs.
You know, this is an incredible weight for any strongman anywhere to even consider attempting. But when you're as light as Radzakowski, oh my God!
He gets it!
That was such an amazingly strong press. It didn't involve a lot of lower body. It was almost all upper body. Incredible pressing power from the pole. He shows how tough he really is here. The lockout is so slow, he really has to muscle it. Iron will and determination, incredible.
Well, we've already seen 2 men lift 462 pounds, and now it's Mike Jenkins of Pennsylvania's turn. Now remember, Big Mike was 3rd on our first event.
Todd, these weights are just amazing. 5, 10 years ago, 50 pounds or even 100 pounds less than this would have been a phenomenal performance.
Jenkins gets it at 462.
When's you get heavy, Colin? When's you get heavy? Unbelievable pressing power here. And it was so easy. There was no leg drive, just a nice, strict, relaxed press.
Please welcome Lithuania, Zydrunas Savickas.
So this is Zydrunas Savickas, and the log now weighs 484 pounds.
This much weight never attempted anywhere before in any competition.
This will be interesting, Phil, because he made the last one look so light.
Wow.
484 for Zydrunas Savickas.
Wow. Well, you saw it right here, a new world record from the king of power, the Lithuanian Zydrunas Savickas.
So we're down to 3 athletes. Krzysztof Radzikowski is bowing out. He will not attempt 484, so the Polish strongman is guaranteed to finish at least 3rd. And that takes us to Mike Jenkins, now at 484. Zydrunas Savickas has already lifted this weight, so Mike will be eliminated if he can't get the lockout.
In your own time!
Mike Jenkins at 484. Trying to match that man, Zydrunas Savickas.
Wow, he came so close, Todd.
So Mike Jenkins will have to settle for a tie for 2nd place, successful at 462 pounds.
Jenkins understandably so frustrated, nearly tying the world record, but our telestrator showing he clearly just missed locking out the left arm.
Well, another amazing effort in a career full of great performances by Zydrunas Savickas. So Savickas wins the log press as the only man to lift 484 pounds. Mike Jenkins and Krzysztof Radzikowski tie for 2nd. Vytautas Lalas takes 4th. Brian Shaw has to settle for 5th, and that'll cost him points in the overall standings. Jenkins assumes the overall lead with 16.5 points. Lawless is in 2nd with 16. In 3rd, it's Radzikowski. Shaw falls to 4th place. Savickas is all the way up to 5th. 4 more physical, punishing, and mentally draining events remain before we can crown a champion. This is the Metrics World's Strongest Man Final. And welcome back to Southern California for the Metrics World's Strongest Man, coming to you from the Commerce Hotel and Casino. The 3rd of 6 events facing the 10 athletes in the final is the bus pole, and Phil, this one's gonna be brutal.
Brutal is right, 27 tons, uphill for 25 meters. Halfway down the course, these guys are going to have burning lungs, pumped hands, pumped forearms, quads, calves. It's all going to be on fire.
Terry Hollins of England enters the bus pole in 7th place overall, but fortunately for the veteran strongman, he is one of the world's best in this event. Irvin Katona has already had his chance at the 54,000-pound bus, and unfortunately for the Serbian, the bus didn't move far. He was credited with a distance of 1.6 meters.
Well, if anyone can finish the course, it's Big Terry. Todd, he's also hooked up to our heart rate monitor. He loves the truck pull. He gets a great start, and you know he's going to power through, accelerate the bus all the way down the course and get a great time.
It's all about body mass, and Terry certainly has that. The heart rate now in excess of 180 beats per minute. He comes to the line. He'll stop the clock at 42.97. Terry Hollins of England has put up the new fastest time in the bus pole.
Well, strongman is a big man sport. Terry Hollins at 6'6" and 400 pounds. He knows how to put the power to the pavement and get this 27 tons moving. He sets the mark to beat.
Ladies and gentlemen, please
Well, there he is. He is commonly referred to as the Icelandic giant, Hafthor Bjornsson, now strapped to the bus. Remember, that bus weighing in at 54,000 pounds. And Phil, this is a 25-meter course. You've been there before. What's this moment like?
Todd, one little mistake and it costs you so many seconds. You've got to be the picture of intensity. Really dig in hard on that first whistle blow, crank up the tension on the harness and the rope, and go.
You saw England's Terry Hollands looking on with a stopwatch. He has the fastest time, 42.97 seconds.
And Hafthor doing a great job here, milking every last bit of power out of every footstep. The big Icelander has his hips low and he's pulling hard.
Hafthor Bjornsson powering through the course, 25 meters, he's almost complete. And Bjornsson stops the clock, 44.71 seconds, so that will put him into second place currently.
The big Icelander, the picture of intensity and hunger.
Hafthor Bjornsson with a very strong pull of the bus pull. Remember, he is pulling 54,000 pounds, and Phil, good form.
I don't think we've ever seen as much energy, focus, and determination from any competitor, let alone one this huge.
So your current overall leader is American Mike Jenkins, set to take the strain here on the bus. Remember, it's 54,000 pounds, and the course is 25 meters, and there is a slight uphill. Phil, how important is the rope work, the hand work?
Absolutely very critical. It helps you maintain proper body position. It gives you 10 to 20% of your pulling power. Of course, the majority of the power comes from the footwork, keeping the hips low, transferring all that energy to the pavement with each and every step.
The mark to beat is 42.97 seconds, put up by England's Terry Hollands.
And Jenkins really digging in here and milking power from each and every stride.
Well, the former American football player from James Madison University should be used to generating power with those big legs, but right now it is slow going. Terry Hollands, remember, 42.97 seconds. This does not look like the same pace that Hollands had.
Well, this is a 27-ton truck, and he is taking it uphill. Terry Hollands, of course, a 7-time finalist veteran. Jenkins here for the second time in the finals. He's climbing the learning curve quite literally, Todd, and with a 54,000-pound bus.
Coming down to the last few meters for American Mike Jenkins. Front of the bus has to cross the line, and it does so with a time of 110.41. So Mike Jenkins goes into third place currently.
Jenkins is such an awesome athlete, all that power, size, and strength, but ultimately the learning curve is too much for the big American. He lost a lot of points there.
Please welcome from Sweden.
Currently in 8th place overall from Sweden, this is Johannes Arsho.
Johannes in his first ever final. He's going to look to make a big mark here and move up among the overall point standings. Well, Johannes has a great technique here, but with his light body weight and small stature, this 54,000-pound, 27-ton bus going uphill is just taking everything he has, and it's really showing on the clock. Tough going for the Swede.
And you make a good point there, Phil. This really does not benefit the smaller statured men. You look at guys like Hafthor Bjornsson, Terry Hollands, they are enormous, and Sweden's Johannes Arsho, relatively small compared to those guys. Now, he has all the power, he just doesn't have the mass.
But he is doing a fantastic job, really giving 100%. You can see the exhaustion as he wavers from side to side down the course. He's struggling just to maintain forward direction.
Minute 15 is the time limit, and Arsho is about spent, and he runs out of time, so he will be credited with distance. Sweden's Arsho gets 19.90 meters of the 25-meter course. And that will put him currently into 4th place.
And not the result that the Swede Johannes Arsho was looking for. However, it was amazing the intensity and determination this young man showed. He willed the truck forward, wavering side to side in complete exertion.
Ladies and gentlemen,
From
please
Poland,
welcome
this is Krzysztof
from Poland,
Radzikowski. Now remember, the
Krzysztof
mark to beat is
Radzikowski.
42.97 seconds. Now, he is a lot like some of the other competitors that have made it to the final. He has all the power and strength, he just doesn't have the body mass.
Radzikowski is just so amazing. He's like a superhero. He has muscles and veins bulging out everywhere, and they're all functioning. They all work. It's not just show. This man has grit. He's made of iron. He's capable of lifting weights that usually only much larger men can handle, and he can definitely make this bus move.
Well, he's really struggling here. That's 54,000 pounds that he's strapped to, and right now he just cannot get any momentum. Remember, you've got a minute 15 to go as far as you can, and this is a bit of a surprise.
He's struggling with everything he's got to generate some traction on the
30
pavement,
seconds to go, Chris.
but ultimately the body weight just won't be enough for him to transmit all of his power through the entire system and make that bus travel down our course.
Now remember, this course is slightly uphill, 25 meters, so with a lack of body mass that Radzikowski does not have, he's really gonna have a hard time just getting this bus rolling, and that's where it looks like he's really hit a wall.
Fantastic effort for the full length of time. Radzikowski milking out every inch of distance possible with our 54-ton bus.
He gets 4.55 meters, very disappointing. That will put him into 5th place for the time being.
Centimeter after centimeter, the Pole Radzikowski dug in and gave everything he had. Maximal effort all the way for a minute and 15 seconds.
JF
From Canada, JF Caron. Now he knows exactly what he has to do. Terry Hollands put up the mark to beat, 42.97 seconds. He is from Quebec City, Canada.
His 3rd trip ever to the World's Strongest Man and his first final. This Canadian has shown us his incredible power on the static lifts like deadlift and log press.
He's really run into a wall here, 54,000 pounds, Phil. And just, again, not having that massive body mass, unable to get the truck and the bus rolling.
But Caron giving it everything he's got, pulling on the guide rope for maximum tension as he digs in with his feet and exerts every ounce of energy forward to create tension on the pulling strap. Centimeter by centimeter, this Canadian is putting down good steps and traction on our course.
15 seconds to go, JF.
He's going to run out of time, though. A minute 15 is the max. This course, 25 meters. He's strapped to 54,000 pounds, and the Canadian does run out of time, so he will be giving distance. He came into this event in 10th place, and he'll be credited with 9.90 meters.
Caron had a very powerful start, digging in with both feet, getting his hips low. He continued to grind it out meter after meter and ultimately gave everything he had.
So Terry Hollands leads the way. This is Vytautas Lalas, currently in 2nd place overall at 5'10" and 320 pounds. The Lithuanian doesn't have the size normally associated with people that excel at the bus pole, so he will have to try and outwork everyone else.
Take the strain. Ready.
42.97 seconds. Vytautas Lalas is on the clock. That's the mark he's trying to beat, put up by Terry Hollands.
Wow, I really love that start he had. He really dug in on that first step or two. He generated so much power, so much maximal effort right out of the gate. That's what it really takes to put up an awesome time in the bus pull. And Todd, this is a guy who I've seen be so focused, so businesslike, so hungry. And he said in the qualifying round that he expected maybe at best top 5 in the final. He's now in 2nd overall.
As he comes to the line, he won't get the fastest time, but Vytautas Lalas knows it's all about points and placement. He'll stop the clock with an impressive time of 52.56 seconds. So that will put the Lithuanian currently into 3rd place in this event.
He is a 5'10" giant killer.
He's going to be pleased with that effort. Well, that's a great result. You got to love that sort of effort. Just a fantastic showing. Brian Shaw probably isn't where he hoped to be in the standings. He's in 4th place overall. We talked about Brian potentially protecting a bicep he had surgery on about 6 months ago. But Phil, this is an event where he really needs to let it all hang out.
And Brian certainly has the gifts. He's a big man. This is a big event, big opportunity to make up some points here. However, talking to Brian and talking to the doctors, he's experiencing some problems with his grip, some numbness in his hand. We're going to find out if that's going to affect him right now.
Brian Shaw on the heart rate monitor. Remember, he goes 6'8", 440 pounds, but he is strapped to that bus, which weighs in at 54,000 pounds. The mark to beat, 42.97 seconds, put up by Terry Hollins.
And right off the bat, Todd, I can see that he would normally have his hips a lot lower. He's not able to put all the tension on the rope and really use the arms to get in perfect body position here. His hips could be a lot lower and he could be generating a lot more power. I think his bicep and his grip are really holding him back.
This is a 25-meter course with a slight uphill, and Brian Shaw really being tested. He is not going to get the winning time, but he needs points as his heart rate goes into the 190s. He will stop the clock at over a minute. 105.12 for the defending World's Strongest Man champion.
That was an expensive event for him. Costs a lot of points there, Todd.
So Brian Shaw goes currently into 4th place in the bus pull. He's not going to be pleased with that one. You could really see his frustration. He never got the momentum on his side. It was tough going from the start. Zydrunas Savickas is in 5th place overall, entering the bus pull. Now the mark to beat here is the time of 42.97 seconds posted by Terry Hollins, and Zydrunas Savickas is our final competitor.
Oh, wow, look at him really dig in on the start there, giving maximal power. Short steps, really planting both feet, getting big pulls, big lunges, exerting incredible tension on the harness and the strap connecting him to the bus.
A 2-time champion, Phil. He knows how the game is played. He doesn't necessarily have to win this event. He just needs to be consistently in the top 3 or 4.
And I've talked about this before. Zydrunas' technique is like him. It's unique. It's special. He uses very short, very fast, quick, choppy steps and develops incredible power thanks to those hugely strong thighs, incredible brute strength from the big Lithuanian, 2-time world champion, Zydrunas Savickas.
And he will stop the clock at 55.35 seconds. So Savickas does not win the bus pull, but an impressive performance and, more importantly, a good finish. 4th place for him. He'll take those points. Terry Hollins gets the win in the bus bowl with a time of 42.97 seconds. Next was Hafthor Bjornsson at 44.71, another solid showing for Vytautas Lalas as he grabbed third. Zydrunas Savickas was fourth, and the two Americans, Brian Shaw and Mike Jenkins, finished in fifth and sixth respectively. The hopes that Terry Hollins had of challenging for the title seemed to vanish after two events, but he has put himself back in contention with the victory here. After three events, Lawless is now the overall leader with 24 points. Jenkins is at 21.5 points in second. Savickas moves up to third. Shaw remains fourth, but his advantage over Savickas is gone, and now he's playing catch-up. Bjornsson is fifth. Minutes away from Disneyland, Rodeo Drive, and miles of California's iconic beaches, Commerce Hotel is the place to be in the middle of all the excitement Los Angeles has to offer. And it's the host venue for the 35th edition of the ultimate test in strength athletics, the Metrics World's Strongest Man. Just 3 events remain before a champion is crowned, and Phil, the next test of strength is one of the classics, the deadlift.
The ultimate test of low back power. Hamstrings, glutes, the entire posterior chain will be totally pushed to the limit with nearly 800 pounds.
In second place overall, the USA's Mike Jenkins is very much a contender for the title here, but the deadlift is an event he's traditionally struggled with. And that definitely isn't the case for his opponent. Few are better in the deadlift than Canada's JF Caron. One pair of athletes has already been tested by the 790-pound barbells. Current leader is Krzysztof Radzikowski with 5 repetitions. Johannes Arshow posted 3.
Ready, lift. Down, lift. Down. Down, lift.
JF Caron on the left, Mike Jenkins on the right.
Caron has such great form here. Really the picture of power and control, just textbook.
Down, lift.
Caron sitting on 4, Jenkins on 3 now, and Caron 1 away from taking the lead.
Jenkins really fighting up the thigh, hitching on that 3rd rep, and now going for 4 with the same kind of technique. Incredible struggle. This is really maximal from Jenkins.
And no lift for Jenkins. Meanwhile, JF Caron has surged into the lead with 6 repetitions.
That kind of effort we saw from Jenkins, that's what can really trash your back. It's tough to leave anything for the future events with that kind of technique.
Mike Jenkins currently tied for 4th place with 3 repetitions. Meanwhile, from Canada, JF Caron is your current leader in the deadlift. He took 6 reps.
Caron, rock solid, really strong, great form. A little bit of hitching on some of the final reps. Jenkins totally zapped his back.
From Serbia, Ervin.
This is Serbia's Ervin Katona, currently in 10th place, needing some points badly.
Katona, such a rugged, grizzled veteran of strongman.
And this is Hafthor Bjornsson, currently in 5th place. Now remember, that barbell is 790 pounds. The mark to beat is 6 reps put up by JF Caron of Canada.
You know, just 5 or 10 years ago, a single or double with this weight would have been world class. It's awesome to see our finalists doing reps with these weights, especially 23 years young Hafthor Bjornsson.
As Katona takes a break, Hafthor Bjornsson continues to power through. It's so freakishly large, Phil. How do you train for something like this?
Well, this is a very basic lift in everyone's strongman repertoire, but there's a lot of different and varied techniques. The younger you are, like Hafthor, the more you can get away with a sloppy form. But as you develop your maximal strength and age a bit, you need to refine it.
So Ervin Katona will settle for 3 repetitions. Meanwhile, Hafthor Bjornsson will be credited with just 5 reps. Remember, no hitching allowed for safety reasons. Bjornsson will take home 4 reps.
Ervin Katona managed to grind out 3 heavy reps with our monster barbell. But it was Hafthor who managed 4 and struggled for a 5th. It was not meant to be, but the Icelandic warrior continues on.
Well, this is Zydrunas Savickas, the two-time champion, currently in third place after 3 events, and this is an event he really does well at. And meanwhile, the defending champion, Brian Shaw out of Fort Lupton, Colorado, currently in 4th place after 3 events.
And we've seen these two matched on the deadlift before, and it is an awesome sight. Great matchup here, Todd.
790 pounds, Savickas on the right, Shaw on the left.
And what a contrast from our last group. Both of these men picking up the nearly 800 pounds so easily. Zydrunas just looks like he could do this all day long.
Both men at 4. Remember, the mark to beat is 6, put up by Canada's JF Caron. And you're right, Phil. Right now, they both look very comfortable. Now we're at 6. And this is to take the lead. And Savickas gets it. So he's at 7, Shaw at 6, and this is important for Brian Shaw. Zydrunas Savickas could surge out in front of the overall. Brian Shaw needs to keep pace.
Savickas is just such a veteran. Even as he tires, he holds his form together so well. That allows him to get that extra rep or 2 he needs every time he steps up to the deadlift bar.
So Brian Shaw tied for 2nd in the deadlift with 6 repetitions, and your new current leader in the deadlift is Zydrunas Savickas. He put up 8.
Shaw's grip is compromised by some nerve damage. They say you're only as strong as your hands, and the big Shaw can only transfer his power to the bar for 6 reps. The king of power, Zydrunas, manages 8.
Well, there's still 2 more events after this, but Brian Shaw can see that his title may be slipping away. Once again, he's dropping points to Savickas. Now the final heat, Terry Hollands of England is in 6th place overall, and his confidence has to be sky high after winning the bus pole. And Vytautas Lalas is our overall leader. The Lithuanian lives in the shadow of his fellow countryman, Zydrunas Savickas, but maybe not for much longer.
Wow, the power just keeps on coming. I love watching Hollands deadlift. He's always so fast off the bottom.
790 pounds, the mark to beat is 8 reps put up moments ago by Zydrunas Savickas. It's Hollands on the right, Lalas on the left.
And it's awesome to see Lalas matched up with Hollands. Lalas is Savickas' training partner. Both of those men do a heck of a lot of deadlifting, Todd.
Both men even at 5.
It looks as though Hollands may be attempting to play a little strategy here, figure out exactly where he is in the standings and whether or not it's worth it to go for 1 more rep.
Well, Lalas is now at 7, Hollands at 6. The mark to beat is 8, put up by Zydrunas Savickas.
Hollands trying to rest the body, manage the fatigue, manage the strength, use the time wisely. Smart strategy by the big Englishman, Todd.
So that will do it. Vytautas Lalas not happy with it, but he ties for 2nd place. He gets 7 reps. And it's the same score for Terry Hollands. He gets the 7th rep just seconds before the heat ends.
Terry Hollands is the epitome of composure, grace under pressure. So savvy, the 7-time finalist, manages all of his resources perfectly and gets that 7th rep.
Zydrunas Savickas gets his 2nd win in the final. He powered his way to 8 repetitions of the 790-pound bar. Vytautas Lalas and Terry Hollands shared 2nd. Damage has been done to Brian Shaw's title chance as he tied for 4th with JF Caron with 6 good lifts. After 4 of 6 events, the overall leader remains Lalas with 32.5 points. Ominously for the rest of the field, Savickas continues to move up the scoreboard. He's now in 2nd place, just 1.5 points back. Shaw's in 3rd place with 27, and it's Hollands who has moved up to 4th. Brian Shaw's chances to repeat as champion are rapidly diminishing. With just 2 events remaining, can the American track down Vytautas Lalas and Zydrunas Savickas? Find out when the Metrics World's Strongest Man final continues. Welcome back to the 35th edition of the Metrics World's Strongest Man. Our host location is the Commerce Hotel in Los Angeles, California. And the planet's 10 best strength athletes move on to the 5th of 6 events. This is the rock lift. Phil, this is an event we haven't seen before. What should we expect?
Well, it's going to be a little bit like working a puzzle. Each athlete is going to have to find the sweet spots on the rock where they can get the best grip, then maneuver the rock and themselves to the platform to load it as fast as possible.
That's Iceland's Hafthor Bjornsson. He comes to the rock lift in a tie for 6th place in the overall standings. Now, 5 athletes have completed their runs through the rock lift, and it's Krzysztof Radzikowski leading the way. He placed all 5 rocks on the platform in 49.27 seconds. And a note, Terry Hollands injured a bicep. He only finished 2 stones. And that large spectator is Hafthor Bjornsson's dad. So here we go, Bjornsson on the rocks, first one weighing in at 300 pounds.
Man, I love the way he loads them so quickly and races to the next rock.
On to number 4, this is 365. And the final one, Phil, 375.
Hands off.
And a new mark to beat, 25.52. Hafthor Bjornsson of Iceland is the new leader in the rock lift with an impressive time.
Well, the giant Icelander has had a lot of fun and energy throughout all the qualifying rounds and now in the finals. He's really showing his stuff, making all 5 rocks look super easy.
Well, like most people, we expected Mike Jenkins of the USA to be fighting for the title, but right now he's in 5th place, 9 points out of 1st. If he has any chance, he needs to do something huge here.
Todd was really wasting a lot of time there just trying to find the perfect grip. You just got to grab these things and go. And again, same mistake with the second rock.
He's got to attack it like we saw Bjornsson. There's the mark to beat, 25.52 seconds. He's on the 3rd rock, 350 pounds.
Absolutely correct. He needs to be running. As soon as he loads a stone, he needs to run to the next one, rip it from the ground, and go.
He's not going to be in 1st place, but here we go. The 5th stone, hands off, 37.40 seconds. So a good time for Mike Jenkins. That will currently put him in 2nd place in the rock lift competition.
Well, remember, this is a brand new event at World's Strongest Man. Jenkins played it safe, and he was successful loading all 5 stones.
This really is Brian Shaw's last stand. He's in 3rd place in the overall. He has some serious ground to make up on the 2 Lithuanians he's trailing.
It seems like with each event, that gap continues to widen. And Shaw burning critical time on that 1st stone.
Mark to beat, 25.52 seconds.
A little better with the 2nd stone. Gotta wonder if that left hand and the nerve damage he's experiencing there, compromised grip, is holding him back a bit here, Todd.
4th stone, 365 pounds. And he's on to the last stone. This is 375 pounds for American Brian Shaw. And he's got it. 38.56 for Brian Shaw. Not happy with that. He's currently in 3rd place in this competition.
This is just an awesome new event, and I have to wonder what it would look like if we had a 100% healthy Shaw.
Zydrunas Savickas is hoping to join the list of athletes with 3 or more World's Strongest Man titles. Mariusz Pudzianowski has 5. Magnus Magnuson and John Paul Sigmarsson have 4. Bill Kazmaier has 3. The Lithuanian is in 2nd place, but he's just 1.5 points back. Big Z looks to be all business for this one.
Ready.
Absolutely attacking this at 2nd stone, 320 pounds.
Great attacks on the first 3 stones from the big Lithuanian. I don't know if it's going to be fast enough to get the Icelander's time, though.
25.52 put up by Hafthor Bjornsson.
Remember, Hafthor was literally running from stone to stone.
This is 375 pounds,
Hands off,
and he stops the
hands
clock at 32.13 seconds, so currently 2nd place for Zydrunas Savickas with 1 athlete to go.
Well, Savickas had great time on all 4 stones, but then when he got to the 5th one, it was a little too much. He had to reset and was finally able to load it successfully.
Here's Savickas' fellow countryman, our overall leader, Vytautas Lalas. We'll see how a guy who didn't expect to be in this position copes with the pressure he's surely feeling. If Vytautas can hold his pursuers off and win the title, he's in line for a $45,000 payday that he surely would appreciate, but I venture a guess that the title would be much more important to him.
Ready?
Vytautas Lalas of Lithuania on the first stone. This is 300 pounds, and he's really struggling already.
Tough start.
Mark to beat, 25.52, put up by Hafthor Bjornsson.
And he looks so much better with the second and third stone, and I love the way he's running back to each of the next stones.
350 pounds.
Awesome job on the fourth one.
And this is the final one, 375. And he stops the clock at 33.29. Vytautas Lalas gets third place, but that will keep him in the lead as we get set for the final event. So Hafthor Bjornsson wins the rock lift with a score of 5 stones in 25.52 seconds. Savickas was over 6.5 seconds back. Vytautas Lalas continues to string together good results. He finished in third. It's not a big surprise that a Lithuanian is leading the standings with one event left, but no one expected it to be Vytautas Lalas. He has 40.5 points, while his countryman Zydrunas Savickas has 40. One of them will leave Los Angeles as our champion. We're in Los Angeles, California at the Hotel Commerce Casino. We move on to the final event, the Power Stairs.
It is the ultimate dynamic test of coordination, speed, and strength. To complete the entire course, an athlete must carry a 495-pound weight of 5 steps, 3 times.
With Vytautas Lalas leading the overall standings by just a half a point over Zydrunas Savickas, the 2-time champion, the victor of their head-to-head encounter in the Power Stairs will win the title. But first, third place is on the line. Defending champion Brian Shaw has clearly been hampered by the lingering effects from a bicep surgery. The American currently owns the third spot, but he'll have to hold off the hard-charging Hafthor Bjornsson of Iceland. 2 other heats have already been contested in the Power Stairs. Mike Jenkins of the USA is the leader. He completed all 15 steps in a time of 43.77 seconds. JF Cronin of Canada is in second. So this is the battle of giants. Shaw 6'8", 440 pounds. Bjornsson 6'9", 419. And Phil, this really is the battle to see who's going to be on the podium with the 2 Lithuanians. And look at Hafthor.
Hafthor's been just a beast through the qualifiers and the finals. He has so much energy. One of the most entertaining competitors to watch. He makes being here a lot of fun.
And this is to clinch third place. Brian Shaw had a misstep on the last one. And Bjornsson's got it.
Shaw continues to struggle with the nerve problems in his left hand. The grip really holding him back here, but he manages to finish all 6 events of our final.
Hafthor Bjornsson is your current leader. 15 steps in a time of 36.82 seconds. And for Brian Shaw, 2012, not his year.
But I look for the big Shaw to come back with a vengeance. And talk about vengeance. This man from Iceland has been on an absolute tear.
The title will go to the winner of this heat. Zydrunas Savickas is a 2-time champion from Lithuania. Also from Lithuania is Vytautas Lalas. 2 countrymen, 2 friends, but there will only be 1 champion.
Todd, I don't think anyone could have predicted this matchup determining the title.
That's 495 pounds. 3 trips up these stairs.
Both men, tons of power to spare for this weight.
Savickas with the early lead.
Like so many events in strongman, this is a big man's event. 5'10", Vytautas Lalas really suffering from his lack of stature here.
And right now it's Zydrunas Savickas with 1 more trip up these stairs. What's on the line? The title of the world's strongest man. He's got 3 more to get it done.
All the way on, see hands
And he's got it! Zydrunas Savickas is the world's strongest man.
Well, he is definitely the champion, but the biggest surprise may be the littlest man here, Vytautas Lalas. He has led for most of our final.
And Vytautas has had just about enough. He will go ahead and claim second. What a performance by that young man. Vytautas Lalas, second place in the 2012 Metrics World's Strongest Man. But the champion, once again, Zydrunas Savickas for the third time.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zydrunas Savickas.
7 podiums, 4 times runner-up, 3 times champion. Zydrunas Savickas is brute strength and strongman dominance personified.
The Power Stairs winner was Hafthor Bjornsson, who completed all 15 steps in a time of 36.82 seconds. But the real story, Zydrunas Savickas, by beating Vytautas Lalas, who finished 7th. Zydrunas Savickas becomes the 5th man to win 3 or more titles. Vytautas Lalas presses throughout, takes 2nd. Hafthor Bjornsson completes our podium. The 23-year-old finishes in 3rd. Brian Shaw has to settle for 4th place, and his fellow American, Mike Jenkins, completes the top 5. And now it's time to add another trophy to Zydrunas Savickas' huge collection. Presenting the award is Teresa Hartle, the event and talent manager for Metrics.
Third time's a charm for Zydrunas Savickas!
Zydrunas Savickas, the 2012 World's Strongest Man champion, an all-time legend in his sport. Ten supreme athletes contested the heaviest, toughest, and most grueling final in history. But once again, it's Zydrunas Savickas who is the world's strongest man. On behalf of Phil Pfister, I'm Todd Harris saying so long from California.